Have you ever said something in anger and regretted it 5 minutes later? Or let one bad day ruin your entire week? Maybe you've wondered why some people seem calm under pressure while others explode over small things. Now, here's the truth. Your intelligence may get you opportunities, but emotional intelligence determines how far you go. So today we are talking about one of the most underrated pillars of self-development. That is emotional intelligence. So we're talking about emotional intelligence. A quick recap, we've been talking about the pillars of self-development, and this is the third pillar, emotional intelligence. We've talked about self-awareness, the second one is mindset, and the third one is emotional intelligence. So if you've not watched those previous ones, please I ask that you watch them so you get the gist of what we're talking about. Most times when people talk about intelligence, we focus only on IQ, ability to solve problems, to solve arithmetic, solve mathematics, to be able to tackle issues, and someone that is brilliant. But psychology has proven that emotional intelligence is a very important aspect of human intelligence, and it contributes greatly to human success in life. What is emotional intelligence? From the word emotion, you know that it has to do with how you feel. So meaning that how you handle your feeling. So it is your ability to be able to identify your feelings, recognize your feelings, handle them, be able to manage your emotions in such a way that it does not negatively affect you. And it also includes you recognizing other people's feelings and emotions. Now, it's not just you recognizing these emotions, it also means that you respond to your emotions rather than reacting. And what do I mean by responding? For example, someone triggers you and someone snaps at you. Probably you're driving in traffic and then somebody snaps at you. The instinctive thing to do is to snap back. That is what? Reaction. But your response is more calculative, is more thoughtful. You know why you're trying to calculate your reaction. You're trying to calculate your response. You're trying to understand why the person snapped, and then you are weighing your reaction with your emotion. Is this worth it? If I snap back, what result does it get me? If I snap back, what's positive impact? Is this snapping back, is this reaction going to add positively to my day, or is it going to add negatively to my day? So this is what emotional intelligence is about. And without making this video very unnecessarily long, I'm just going to go straight into the 5 components of emotional intelligence. So the first one is self-awareness. Self-awareness. I mentioned that emotional intelligence deals with how you react, identifying your emotions and reacting, and also identifying the emotions of others. So for self-awareness is you identifying what triggers you. You don't just get angry, you don't just snap at people, but you identifying what triggers you. That is self-awareness. You understand, you try to assess yourself, a self-assessment of why do I get angry easily? Why do I get irritated easily? What is happening? You do that internal self-awareness. So your emotions are not just all over the place. So you're not just reacting to people. This person says something bad, you're angry. This person does this, you are snapping, and then a bad day turns to a bad week. A bad week turns into a bad month, and then you have all this ripple reaction. You have to be self-aware of why do I get this angry? Why do I react? Why do I cry easily? You have to do that self-assessment. So part of emotional intelligence is you assessing yourself, being aware of why you react, what triggers you, how you react. And the second one is self-regulation. Self-regulation, from the word regulation, it means you regulating something like a thermostat where you regulate something, you regulate your emotion. So it's not just you just learning how to respond, you have to be able to regulate yourself. You just don't go off. You are able to do things that calms you. You're able to identify things that calms you. So you know that when you are pissed or when you are offended, a little 5 minutes 5 minutes time out, probably going out for fresh air, will help regulate your emotion. A little, hanging out with friends will help regulate your emotions. Just be able to identify things that regulate your emotions, that help you to control, to put your emotions on the check. And the third one is motivation. Emotional intelligent people do not rely on external motivation to do things. So you don't just say you go to work because you are motivated by what somebody says. No, you build internal motivation for yourself. Remember that all of this hinges on self-development, meaning that you are training yourself to become the best version of yourself. That means all of the equipment you need to develop is right inside of you, and you have to do the work. And so your motivation should be internal. Why am I doing this? To become better. Why am I going to work? Why is this important? And this is important because external validations or external motivations can change. Somebody that is encouraging you today might not encourage you, but if you have an internal motivation to do something, then you get it done and you do it relentlessly. And then the next one is empathy. Empathy is you understand. You might not you What's empathy? Empathy is you understanding people's situation. Now it's not necessary that you must have gone through what they are experiencing, but you are empathetic towards them. You put yourself in their shoes. You try to understand their emotion. You are in your bid to understand why what they are going through. You understand why they act the way they do. You understand why they respond to things, and in that way it helps you become more helpful towards people. That's why sometimes when you want to help people, you just don't dash out money to help people. Just don't do what you feel that they need, or you just do what you feel is right. Most times you need to be empathetic enough for you to be able to help people, or for your help to be meaningful. And then the last one is social skills, and this is so important. Every other ones I've mentioned are important, but social skills also important. From the word social, mean relating with people. If you are emotionally intelligent, it is important that you have good social skills. And what are social skills? These are skills that you have. These are skills that you use in relating and interacting with people, and this it includes communication skills, your ability to communicate information to people. For example, you are angry at someone and you want to point it out to someone that you're angry at them. Now, someone that is emotionally intelligent with good social skills will calm down, highlight the what the person did wrong, why you think it's wrong, and what you would have preferred he did, without speaking at the top of their voice. You understand what I'm saying? So someone with good social skills know how to communicate on a one-to-one basis, communicate in a group, in a gathering, without allowing their emotions cloud their judgment or their assessment or their communication. So there are people that at the moment they are angry, they are at the top of their voices shouting at anyone that is close by. Or when you are in a gathering, you know that someone has to speak. You wait for your turn for your turn to speak. You keep quiet, or you stay quiet for some other people to talk. Talking is you talk, I talk, you talk, I listen, I talk, you listen. While some people only want to hear their own voices. That is all. They are always right. So these are what social skills is: how you relate with people in public, how you accept people's ideas, how you implement people's ideas, how you point out to people when they are wrong without being condescending. These are all encompassed in social skills, and which is expected for someone with high EQ. And EQ, just like IQ, is just like emotional quotient, something you use to judge and to know how emotionally intelligent someone is. So it is not enough for you to have an high IQ, but it is also important that you have a very high EQ. You can be good at solving problems, good at creating things, mathematics, arithmetics. But if your EQ is low, it's going to affect your journey because you need people. No, we don't live in isolation. You need people. You need relationships. So emotional intelligence help you to build relationships. There are people that are not very brilliant, but because they have high EQ, they are good with people. So they have people around them, they have successful businesses. Sit with them one on one, they will not tell you something you've not heard before, but they are so good with relating with people, they are so good in dealing with situation, handling people. In fact, I have met some people that everybody that they come across, they make them feel special. And that is a skill on its own. So it is not enough for you to be good at what you do. You have to work on your EQ. You have to work. And unlike IQ, where they are born geniuses, yeah, there are people that naturally they flow well with people. They are naturally empathetic, but it's something that you can work on. Because I believe that for someone who is aimed at developing themselves, there's hardly anything that you cannot do. There's hardly any heights that you cannot reach. As long as you have it at the back of your mind that you have a set goal, that you want to be the best version of yourself, then there is nothing that you cannot aim at. So emotional intelligence is a very strong pillar in self-development. There is nobody that is successful and what is successful is not just about having lots of money. People that are well grounded, people that are good, people that have influenced life, that have made positive impacts. That's what I mean by successful. Successful is not just about the money. Success is an all-rounder thing. If you have money and the people around you do not feel the impacts, or people cannot say that this is one good thing that you have done, then what is the point of that success? That is not success. You're just rich. So successful people are people that have done well for themselves, done well for their community, they have done well for their society. That is my definition of a successful person. They have made positive impact. There are people that when you hear their name, you say, oh, this person is a good person. This person have made impacts in life. Those are successful people. And those kind of people are empathetic. They have social skills. They are emotionally intelligent people. They're not just good at numbers or good at accounts and all of that. They are genuinely concerned about people. And there is no how you be genuinely concerned about people, about making impact without you being emotionally intelligent. So if we look at our journey from being self-aware, of having good mindset or the kind of mindset that you're supposed to have, and then coming to emotional intelligence, you see that they are all interrelated. There is no pillar that can be isolated, and that's why they are pillars. Because when you're building a house, you need pillars on which you erect the structure, and that is why it is important that we take cognizance of all of this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please watch out for the next pillar of self-development. And if you have not watched the previous videos, I ask that you please watch the previous videos. Please like, subscribe, and share. Bye.